Welcome to rSlash Am I the Butthole, where OP's neighbor parks their car in his garage. Am I the butthole for having my neighbor's car towed from my garage? My house is being built in a neighborhood that's a few years old. My lot is one of the few remaining lots, and there are occupied houses surrounding mine. The exterior is basically complete, and the contractors are in the process of putting up the drywall. After work the other night, I decided to drive out to inspect the work. Everything looked fine, until I decided to check out my garage. When I opened the door, I saw 2 cars and a minivan parked inside my garage. I called the contractor to see if he knew anything about them, and he was as perplexed as I was. My guess is that one of the neighbors decided to park their cars inside my garage because there was a slight chance of hail that night. At first, I was just going to leave it alone. But the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. By the time I got to my car, I was steaming mad. So much so that I called a tow company and had them tow away all 3 vehicles. The next morning, my contractor called and told me the police were there to investigate the theft of the vehicles. I had them put the police on the phone and explained that I was the owner of the property, I had the vehicles towed, and I gave them the tow company information. My contractor told me later that the owner of those vehicles were shouting and cussing them out until the police made them leave. I went by after work, and a guy confronted me about being a butthole for having their vehicles towed. He was shouting about how I ruined their day because they missed work, and their kids were late to school because of it. He also said it cost almost $1,000 to get all 3 vehicles back, and that I'll be covering the cost. I told him good luck with that, and that he's the butthole for parking in my garage without my permission. We went back and forth until his wife came and pulled him home. Some of the other neighbors came out to watch our argument, and afterwards, some of them told me that I was starting off on the wrong foot and I should apologize to that guy. They said that I should be more neighborly and understand that neighbors help each other out. One said that I should have left a note instead of having them towed. It seems all my neighbors are against me. I can see their point, so maybe I overreacted? I'm not sure. OP, all those neighbors who told you to be neighborly, you should say, "Oh, hey, I've got an extra car that I need to store someplace. Can I store my car in your garage? Are you cool with that?" And see what they say. "Oh, well, you see, actually, I need my garage for such and such." What a bunch of pricks. Why is it on you to start off on the wrong foot, but it's not up to your neighbor to start off on the right foot? Some people have this stupid mentality of just, we need to appease the guy who's angry and yelling, even if the reason why he's angry and yelling is completely unjustified. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. Everyone else gets 1.5 out of 5. Am I the butthole for reporting my ex and her husband to the police for stealing my property? My ex-wife, who's 39, and I share custody of our 3 kids, who are 16, 14, and 12 equally, and no child support is paid. Our marriage didn't end on the best of terms, and we communicate through an app only when required to for the sake of the kids. She's since remarried and has a 15 and 13-year-old stepchild. Her husband and I don't speak. We've had some issues with my ex keeping property that's mine if the kids take it on her time. It started with a cell phone. I gave our eldest my old phone when one of my ex's stepkids broke his phone. My ex then told our oldest that they were keeping it at her house, and she refused to return it even when I went over there and asked. I was told that she had every right to confiscate it. I followed up with an email, and she told me to get over it and she would not hand it over. The next time, our 14-year-old daughter brought some of my tools into school with her for an assignment, but it was custody exchange day, so she left my house but went home to her mom's. My ex believed that it wasn't appropriate for her to have them, so she took them and refused to return them to me. Again, I got a written exchange as proof. The last time was with our youngest. I let him use an old iPod for a class assignment on recent old tech gadgets. Apparently, her 13-year-old stepchild had the same assignment on a different day, and she decided both should get to use it. I told her it was my property and she had to return it, and I got another email exchange, and then I contacted the police. My ex gave the stuff back, but she lost her mind over me getting the police involved for petty stuff. She said I could have demanded it back after her stepkid used the iPod, and I told her she wasn't giving any of it back. And what I give for my kids is not for her stepkids. She brought up how much more serious trouble could have come from it, and I told her it would have been deserved because you can't steal other people's property. She told me it was just my spiteful side emerging because none of it was a big deal. Or I never would have given them to my kids, which I think is the dumbest argument. The phone was because her stepkids broke our eldest's phone and she wasn't about to replace it. Our daughter needed tools for school, and it was only for school. And she wanted to return them to me, but her mom said no, and then the iPod was just for our youngest. I'm not here to help her stepkids in any way. My ex and her husband and their mom, if she's still in the picture, can do that. So am I the butthole? This one's easy. Don't steal, because stealing is wrong. And if you steal stuff, the cops might get called on you. So you can't turn around and say, oh, you can't call the cops on me for stealing. That's not right. You should let me steal from you. Yeah, whatever. Go screw yourself. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your dumb ex-wife 1 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for putting peanuts in my food? I recently got into a nice university, and it's only been 2 to 3 weeks since it started, but my life is already hell. I know that a lot of people have trouble with roommates, but my roommate, a 19-year-old woman, is pure hell. She eats my food, uses my blankets, and takes stuff I need, like a pen drive or dongles I had. Those aren't the problem since I barely use them. My real problem is food. My mom specifically bought me a small car fridge so I could keep food in there without anyone taking it. And it actually even has a little lock on it. My roommate, being the roommate from hell, has gone as far as picking the lock to eat my food and then retorting, saying that she thought that it was for both of us, even though I clearly have stated all food in there is specifically for me. I even spend more money to buy food that tastes good or is good for me since I like eating good food. My roommate barely makes food on her own, and she either orders out or steals food. I recently got into Asian food, and I love it. I try to make it at home to the best of my abilities, but obviously it isn't as good as the restaurants. But every time I buy some from a local restaurant or meal prep any food at all, more than 75% of it gets eaten. I've even gone as far as making 2 boxes of food, one specifically labeled with my roommate's name. She then eats hers and most of mine. And this bothers me since I often come back tired from the gym or work or a bunch of classes to find that most of my food is gone. And I do spend a bunch of time making the food, so I'm furious at her. Now, here's the part that I think makes me the butthole. I made some pad thai yesterday morning for today, and then I immediately left. My roommate, though, stayed there for most of the day since most of her classes don't have mandatory attendance. And throughout the day, I got like 50 angry messages from her, but I didn't even notice them since I put my phone on silent and in my bag. When I came back to the dorm, I see her gone. I thought she left for her friend's place since they meet almost every day. Later, I found out that she had an allergic reaction and had to go to the ER. Turns out she's allergic to peanuts, and I didn't even know. And I drizzled peanut oil on the food and put a bunch of chopped peanuts and nuts throughout all of it. And I didn't make her some since I didn't have time yesterday. And now she's been yelling at me for putting peanuts in my food, something I would eat. Like she messaged me, "I can't believe you did this. I had to pay money for something I don't have." She has more than enough, by the way. And the text goes on and on and on. She's been telling all her friends to DM me and tell me that I'm a monster for making my own food. I'm confused here because she ate my food when she's not supposed to, but I did make her have an allergic reaction. Am I the butthole? OP, next time use even more peanuts. You get 0 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for refusing to pay for our friend's now broken iPhone and sunglasses that our son broke? I'm a 28-year-old woman and my husband is 32. Our son is 6 months old. Whenever someone holds our son, we warn that person that our son will try to grab your glasses or phone, and sometimes even your hair. We're trying to break this habit, but he's 6 months old. Now, I warned my husband that a friend of mine, a 33-year-old woman, Jean, came to visit and wants to hold our son, which we didn't mind at all. I warned her about it, saying, "Oh, best take your sunglasses off your head. He'll grab them." Now, these were Gucci sunglasses costing almost $800, which to me is a crazy amount for sunglasses, but to each their own. She rolled her eyes at me and accused me of hogging my own baby. I warned her again and she said, "It's fine." So she held him. She took her phone out to take a selfie, which, again, I'm fine with as long as it's not posted. My son, of course, grabbed her sunglasses, got excited as he got them, and waved his hand about with the sunglasses and they flew. She screamed, scaring him. He panicked and flailed, hitting her iPhone to the floor. I quickly took him because my friend was freaking out. My friend now says I need to buy her a new iPhone 16 and replace her sunglasses, or give her the money for them, which is $2,300. I said, we can't pay that because it's not even my monthly wage. Plus, I'm on maternity, but also I don't feel like I should since you ignored my warnings. She's calling me heartless for not being more understanding of her being upset. I was more concerned with calming down my son. My husband just shrugged, telling her I did warn her. When I read the title, I came in expecting to scold OP for allowing her kids to break other people's property, but oh, it's a baby. It's a 6-month-old baby. Yeah, your friend's stupid. Everyone knows not to give expensive valuables to little babies, because they'll break them. That's just what babies do. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your dumb friend 1 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for not helping my stepbrother after he came out as gay because he got me disowned for being gay? I'm a 26-year-old guy. My family is the worst homophobic people you'll ever meet. I knew that I was gay when I was 14, but I hid it from my family for obvious reasons. I hooked up with my now husband when we were 17, and my stepbrother Peter, who's 26, caught us in bed. He immediately told our parents, and I left after being screamed at and told that I was disgusting, and they want nothing to do with me, and just really nasty stuff that still hurts to this day. My aunt took me in, and I've had no contact with my family since then. Last week, my husband got a Facebook request from Peter. He's tried to add me on several different social media accounts, but I always block him. Peter told my husband that he's also gay, and he was also disowned, and he would like help from us. I said absolutely not, and told my husband to delete him. I still have nightmares where Peter was helping them throw me out. My husband did as I asked, but Peter keeps trying to contact us, saying he's struggling. We've spoken to our friends about the situation, and some said it's understandable that I don't want anything to do with him because it did traumatize me. And others said that it's our job to help others come out to ease people into our community. And when I asked them if they would like to help him, they said it would be better if it was me because I'd be more familiar to him. I'm starting to doubt myself. My husband said that he'll support me in whatever I decide. I'm all for supporting someone coming out, but this man helped my parents hurt me so bad, so I don't know. Am I the butthole for that? Not only did your brother burn any goodwill between you when he betrayed you, but also the guy is 26. He can't support himself? Sounds just like a whiny loser. That was rSlash Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.